Okay? We read, let's read it again, Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. So we're going to look at what's the daughter of Babylon, but virgin means haven't been touched. Representing America, really. Or the so-called white man. We're going to prove it. Sit on the ground, I mean, you're going to be at a low estate. There is no throne, no power and authority, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, right? So, we're looking at what is the virgin daughter of Babylon? The virgin means they haven't been touched, because ain't nobody came to the shores of America and, did anything significant from any other country. Psalms 137 and 7, and when, the Japanese call themselves going to do something in Pearl Harbor, they dropped 2 bombs on them, in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, the atomic bombs. So who is this virgin daughter of Babylon? Psalms 137 and 7. Remember, O Most High, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So now, what happened? First Ezra, the 4th chapter, and the 45th verse tells you what they did. First Ezra, the 4th chapter, verse 45. Thou also have vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burned. So this ain't the first time. So our temple gonna be defiled. So it tell you that Cyrus had vowed to build up the temple of the Persian and Mede Empire now, that took down the Babylonians. The Ethiopians was in captivity under them for 70 years. So he said, thou also have vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans, by the Babylonians. They burned our temple down. So now he's telling them he had vowed to build it up again. So that's what David is prophesying about in Psalms 137 and 7. Remember, O Most High, the children of Edom. So a white man in the day of Jerusalem who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So we read what they done in 1 Ezra 4:45. O daughter of Babylon, see? O daughter of Babylon, who are who? Remember, O Most High, verse 7, the children of Edom. Who are they? Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon. Once again, verse 7, remember, O Most High, the children of Edom. Who are they? Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Say, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Right? So, looking at this, we look at Obadiah 10, verse 10, because it's only 21 verses in the book of Obadiah is talking about the Edomites. And there's 21 verses that the Most High talks about them pertaining to themselves through the prophet Obadiah. Obadiah 1, it says, the vision of Obadiah, the prophet, thus said the Most High power concerning Edom, you see, concerning the Edomites. So when we look at verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Remember, when Esau met Jacob for the first time after he had swear that vow that he was going to kill his brother Jacob once they buried our father Isaac, he didn't. But he made that vow. And he's saying, just what the Most High is saying. Obadiah 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This is what it says. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, the Babylonians came and took us into captivity, and the foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. Not only that, they even thou was like as one of them. That's right. Look at Joel. Go to the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. Joel 3 and 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians. Sold unto the Grecians. Well, let's look at verse 4. Yeah. And what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? This representing Hamites, or this is where the Hamites were living, so-called Africans were living. And all the coast of Palestine, that's the Arabs. So you got the Africans, you got the Arabs. You got Hamites, you got Ishmaelites. Africans, so-called Africans, so-called Arabs. Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? What did they do? Verse 6. The children also of Judah and of the children of Jerusalem, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, have you sold unto the Grecians, the so-called white man, the Greeks, that ye might remove them far from their border. Took us from the west coast of Africa all the way over here. Verse 3. Listen what it says. And they have cast lots for my people, the 12 tribes of Israel, mainly Judah, Benjamin, and Levi at this time. When you read most of the Old Testament, we in captivity under some nation. We only was free a few times. And they have cast lots, they bid it for my people, the Most High said, and have given a boy for an harlot. Hear that? A boy for an harlot. A boy to be sold around as an harlot, having sex with them and so forth. You know, like you see, even they show in their, matter of fact, when Columbus came, he had a little boy called Pierre the Negro on his ship. Remember they had them, they call them lads that be on them ships. Y'all better look at that. They sold a little boy for a harlot. You look at the movie Goodbye Uncle Tom. It's on YouTube. Type it up, Goodbye Uncle Tom. Goodbye Uncle Tom. You see they dress the little boys up as girls and so forth. And you see the world that we're in now. That's why when I look up the word dog in New Youngest Bible Dictionary, this from them, it's not something I wrote at all. New Youngest Bible Dictionary. Look up the word dog, which they used to come up with the word God. Just dog spelled backwards. Like Santa Claus, C-L-A-U-S-E. They took Santa Claus, you just move the letters over, you got Satan Claus, C-L-A-W-S. And many other means of things, how they change things up that a lot of people don't think because we're not analytical thinkers. Look at dog. This is from the New Youngest Bible Dictionary. In the East, dog is used for impure and profane persons and was used by the Jews respecting the Gentiles, these other nations. Verse 5, number 5. Those who are shut out of the kingdom of heaven are also called dogs. Hear that? And give reference of Revelation 22 and 15. On account of their vileness, probably a reference to homosexuality. See that? Those who are set out of the kingdom of heaven are also called dogs. Revelation 22 and 15. On account of their vileness, probably a reference to homosexuality. Verse 3. Number 3, excuse me. In the East, dog is used for impure and profane persons. It was used by the Jews respecting the Gentiles. Matthew 15:26. It's not meat to take the children's bread and cast it into the dogs. And the Greek lady said, yes, master, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs that fall from the table of the children. Paraphrasing, you know? So, this is real. So when you look at, say, it was for profane person, when you go to Hebrews 12 and 16, which mean unholy. Now when you look at, it says unholy, right? So when you look at, Salakia, when you look at, Hebrews 12 and 16, It said, lest there be any fornicator or profane person. Profane, unholy means unholy person, as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Like I told you, it's like some red polished red meat that was in that stew that he wanted, that he ate, and a clear indication how did he like that meat? Well done or rare. One morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. We read this. That's why it's very important to know these scriptures. Go back to Obadiah. Obadiah. Verse 12. So you see, they when foreigners came into our gates, they cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. Verse 12. But we just read about it in Joel. But thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldst thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldst thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldst not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldst not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. That's what they did. Neither shouldst thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Here go one right here, catching us. Neither shouldst thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Most High is near. It's near right now. Upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Thus say the Most High. Nahum 3 and 10. Nahum 3 and 10. Nahum 3 and 10. Yet was she carried away yet was she carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets. Read it again. Remember, because a lot of y'all probably have attitude when I read in Psalms 137, verse 9, about how he gonna dash their little ones against a stone. Let's look what happened to us. Yet was she carried away, she went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets, and they cast lots for her honorable men in slavery, bidden for us, and all her great men were bound in chains. Hosea 13 and 16. Hosea 13 and 16. Hosea 13 and 16. Samaria, that's northern Israel. I ain't tried. Northern Israel shall become desolate, for she have rebelled against her power. Rebelled against the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. They shall fall by the sword. Listen, their infants shall be dashed in pieces. Their infants shall be dashed in pieces. And a young woman with child shall be ripped up. You know that? Young woman with child of our nation were ripped up. Look. see if I can. Here it is. It's a book called by Bartholomew de las Casas, A Short Account of the Destruction of the Indies. Let me show you. You got pictures in here that he drew. Somebody drew. They in here. Let's see. I can find some just to show you the word of the Most High is true. You know, I have these pictures blown up. I want to make sure you see that they are in this book. It's so gruesome, man. Oh man, it's terrible what they did. They came over here. Look. Here it is. Here you go. Look. You see him dashing a little child against a stone? Can you see that? It says, Hosea 13:16, Samaria shall become desolate, for she hath rebelled against her power. They shall fall by the sword, their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and their women with child shall be ripped up. Women with children, pregnant women gonna be ripped up. Look, that's what happened. Picture with 1,000 words, right? Look at that. Look at that picture. That's gruesome. She got a little baby hanging on her side, hung her before she can be violated. From a book called Bartholomew de las Casas, A Short Account of the Destruction of the West Indies. They came here to the shores of America. Second Kings, 8th chapter. 2 Kings, 8th chapter. See, we didn't do what the Most High said do, so therefore we had to suffer. But what it is that he said he's going to do, he said he's going to do it. We're supposed to be ruling the world, but no. We want to follow the way of the heathen and be like them. He said, all you need is me. No. That's why I love that we coming back to him now. Okay, let's look at 2 Kings, the 8th chapter. We're going to start at verse 7. And Elisha came to Damascus. Elisha, this great prophet, that seen Elijah go up. He got a double portion of Elijah's spirit. Elisha came to Damascus, and Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, was sick. And it was told him, saying, the man of the Most High is come hither. And the king said unto Hazael, take a present in thine hand, and go. Meet the man of the Most High, and inquire of the Most High by him, saying, shall I recover of this disease? Just a moment.